Welcome, Mitch, to the podcast.
Cheers, brother.
It's such a pleasure to have you on, man.
Yeah.
For your first official podcast.
Privilege.
First official. He did it.
Happy days. Yeah, no, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course, man. And, you know, we had that adventure on Saturday. So Mitch came and led one of the adventure Saturdays that we have with Whole Human, with the community here. And it was so good. Man, you are a really great facilitator. Like how you bridge bringing information into practice. It's rare for me to see that kind of teaching with embodiment of here's the info, here's the science.
Yeah.
And then you actually lead through embodiment. You lead the practices. We got into the pool. We did the weird things to prepare ourselves for big waves or whatever experiences in life. And I took so much away because of your embodied teaching. So definitely grateful to have you here and looking forward to more experiences in the future.
Yeah, cheers. I think it's an important approach to be able to really cognitively understand something and then experience it. And then once we have that experience, we can come back to then, we have questions. We can come back to the couch, we can come back to the mat, come back to the journal, understand what we just experienced, and then really go back into exploring and understanding more of it to then take it back. It's just like this continuous relationship in between theory and play.
Exactly, theory and play, I love that. Because when you understand it in the head, it actually just allows more safety in the body. Because I noticed a lot of people that went to this event had fear. I know some of the workshops you run are specifically around fear, and I know we'll get into that. But some people in the space had fear with drowning or fear with things happening to partners or friends in the past, or they stopped surfing because something happened. And so they came there with that pre-existing fear. And what you did is starting with the logic, starting with the info, started to calm. He's like, oh, we're not just going right into it. I get to actually get permission in my mind to then drop into the body. Yeah. So you did that really well, man. So.
Literally, because that mind, it just wants to attach. The way society has us is just any momentary satisfaction we can get, attach. And then when we're moving into these, dynamic environments, we just want safety wherever we can get it. And that comes out in so many different ways. And when we go further into like breath holding or the relationship that we have in fearful or stressful environments, the body's such an intelligent vessel. How can we surrender into that, come out of the monkey mind and just go, you're safe here? But when we start to feel that resonance in our body to go like, what? It's a feeling. But thoughts also add to that feeling, and it can either spike us or it can let us drop off and surrender further into the body and then go, I'm safe here. And then drop down into those deeper layers. Like, where did you allow yourself to go when we're going through the carbon dioxide tolerance chart?
Yeah, you had us going deep into that, man. And you tricked us.
Gotcha.
You were like, oh, we'll do like 47 seconds. And our holds were so much longer in the best way. You're like, oh, you're going to be fine. Like the body is capable. Yeah. And you really got us in there. And so for me, when we were doing these longer breath holds, we were going upwards of like 2 minutes on some of these, 2 minutes plus. 2
minutes plus.
Yeah.
240 by the end the group got.
Yeah.
And that's only because I guess a good chunk of the group was kind of finding those boundaries, and then there was still a big part of the group that was holding it down.
Yeah, I think, I got maybe to 255 at the end there.
On one hook breath.
Yeah, on a hook. Yeah, which one we'll go into what the hook breath is. Yeah. But yeah, collectively a 240 breath hold is amazing. And so for me, what was happening was going through the breath, and I've done lots of breath work in the past, but not specifically like this. Like I've done freediving, I've done some training around holding breath, but how you brought it forward, which I would love us to go into some of the practices, it allowed me to go from mind to body and then notice, oh, mind's coming back online. I think I want to breathe. And then I remembered your words of your mind's going to come online. You're gonna convulse. Like there's gonna be some tension. Yeah. But you can go back in and return. You can actually go into the tension. Yeah. And in tension.
Within
literally.
Tension.
And so I returned to that, and then the feeling just went away. I was like, oh, oh, I was just creating that in my mind. There was a space there that was like, you need to do it. And it's like, no, he's keeping time. I'm safe. I'm good.
Yeah, it's a safe container.
And I would be able to hold every time until you were like, okay, 10 seconds left. And then we would breathe out and go back in for another cycle. But I noticed the going to the body, to the mind in the breath. And since then, and I work with the body, I do somatic work, but I've noticed in the dance on Sunday, we do an ecstatic dance every Sunday. And I was like, oh, am I really in my body right now? Or am I thinking how I want to be perceived moving in my body? Let me go back to the body and then let it go. And then like, oh, I'm in the mind again. Let it go back. And so I took that training to the dance floor. And so I'm stoked to see where else can I take that training? Like maybe in this podcast, right? They'll be like, I'm thinking what I'm going to say. Oh, maybe I can drop in. And so there's many places to practice this. But for me, it was that going and then returning.
Yeah.
You know what? And then returning.
Yeah. Beautiful practice.
That's great.
Yeah, completely. And it's awesome to hear that you even took that to the dance and be able to see the correlation between, your experience in that space, in the water, and then take that to another uncomfortable, because it can be a very vulnerable place on the dance floor, especially in that like scenario where there's no drugs, there's no alcohol, it's the light of day, and everyone's just grooving, doing their thing, and it can become like an expectation, or you can put expectations on yourself, I should say, to, like you said, move a certain way, or how should I be doing something? That continuous conversation to go like, hold up, what am I actually feeling on the inside right now, and what's important to me? With that.
Well, and I'm going to go surf this afternoon. I'm looking forward to seeing how in the waves it shows up, because that's a lot of what you do, right? It started from that place, at least I assume, because I know now a lot of what you do with people is you bring the practitioner skills you have with the breath into the surf. You take people out, you take them into their bodies, you do land work and you do water work. I'd be curious though, how did it get started for you? Were you just a surfer growing up and you're like, oh, there's codes here? Because it seems like with everybody, something either comes from desperation or inspiration. Either like desperate, they don't see it around them and like, I need to go down this path. Or they're inspired by people around them or things around them like, oh, I'm going to go through this and follow this. But I'm curious, how did the journey start for you?
I grew up on just a pretty shitty beach break where we were just stoked to be out and amongst it every day. When the holidays, I lived in the bush with my mum and my sister, and I'd spend weeks at my mate's house at the beach, and cheers Jezza, cheers Kathy for having me for so many times. Rat and Leanne and Scotty, they were just like homing me down for weeks on end down in Pandula Beach, and we just loved it. Even when it was so crap, we'd just be out there learning and just playing in the waves, and then slowly but surely, I guess that progression just kept coming. Mum would throw her bracelets in the pool, or like earrings and stuff that I'd have to go down and try and find, and I just started loving the underwater world. And then my friends loved fishing and spearfishing, and then the progression continued, and I never really thought much of it. And it wasn't until I got a little bit older and going on a few surf missions with mates and overseas, and one mate specifically, he was always definitely a waterman and still is. And going on surf adventures with him, like, I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew I wanted to do it. And it's like, what's going on, Pud? How do I approach this? And he's a very humble man, and he's just like, oh, you just got to make the bottom turn and you'll be right. And it's like, on this detonating slab that just trying to cognitively understand, okay, I understand you have to paddle into the thing and try and make a bottom turn so you can ride the rest of the wave. But like, that wasn't a lot for me. And like, I appreciate his approach, and I always will, but I needed more, specifically for my understanding of what I was doing in the ocean. Wim Hof was a good introduction, and then a bit of yoga, and had like some older influences go like, oh yeah, it's good to be doing yoga and a bit of mindfulness for your surfing and for your mental health. As I continued to get into it, I noticed that like my mental health was plummeting on the outside. And as I kind of mentioned the other day, like in our small little coastal country town, there was a lot of mental health issues going on down there, and I needed more. As I was losing more and more people to suicide, I needed to find a different way to be able to find contentment without partying, without getting and falling into those patterns. I needed something else to be able to, anchor me back into my body. And I got further introduced by this old legend that my girlfriend at the time had met out at Uluru, and we went to his place one time, and he's like, "Mitchy, can I introduce you and like show you a breathing pattern?" And I was like, "Sure." And within 45 minutes or something, full blast off, complete just body tingles and vibrations fluttering through my body, colours, shapes. And I was just like, come back to overlooking like the hills of Coffs Harbour and just going like, oh my God, what? Just complete contentment through my entire body. And I've just looked at him and I was like, wow, thank you so much. I really needed that. And from experience was like, I want to be able to share this. I want to be able to teach this, especially to young males in my community, and be able to help other people really understand themselves through the simplicity of the breath. And then got into like a bit of mindset development, did like a 6-month program through that. One of my best mates got me into that, and that fully changed my perspective as well. And just continuing to notice like how magic words are, the power of intention, and what words are we choosing to really define and shape our reality at? Because we have a decision, and the decision is, are we going positive or are we going to take the other path? And either way, it's going to turn into a storm and start to whirlwind in whatever direction you go. And for me, if I kept going down the path of negativity, I would have ended up, unfortunately, probably taking my life. And I'm so grateful through my opportunities to experience different modalities and have different conversations with really important people in my life, shaped me and took me into a path of going like, all right, I think it was a process of elimination, to be honest. And it just went like, I need to listen to what feels right and resonates in my body. The answer to your question is, I took all of that I learned. And then when I started moving into environments that had a little bit more severity, was moving into the water with full awareness and composure. But that started the night before, or even weeks before, sitting there journaling about it, sitting there in meditation, just going like, all right, when this wave comes tomorrow, I'm going. And then walking to the beach, because like there was a spot where I'd camp like 2 hours away, and I'd get up at 3:30 in the morning. I'd be walking through the bush down. I could just hear the rumble of the ocean, and just my breath the whole way through. And just regulating myself, visualizing what's going to go down out there. And it's a full trek down into the wilderness, and you've just got this 100-meter nearly like cliff above you, and you get to the water's edge. It's just rumbling and deep water, lots of marine life, and it's a very raw place. And to when I like get in the water, to feel that resonance of the energy of the ocean just go like through my body, and it's just like, whoa, mind just goes, holy shit, what are you doing? And then with the breath, allowing myself to drop back in, still shitting my pants and moving into the water, but with more awareness and composure. And through those visualizations, slowly but surely, I allowed myself to pick off a couple of waves that I was, really grateful and proud of myself to put myself in those conditions and situations. But then also like ones would come and say, right, I'm going, cartwheel down the face, biggest floggings of my life, and then just going like, holy shit, what happened then? There's obviously more to be able to unpack there, but still to be able to be underwater, come out of it and go, something's clicking, something's working for me to then get back to the rocks, be sitting on land again and just going like, hand on my heart, just going like, I'm fucking proud of you, mate. Like, I'm proud of you that we just got through that.
The amount of visualization and preparation you do is more than any other surfer I've ever met. It's really cool to hear about it. And when you're sharing about it, I realized how little I do that. I prep my body by stretching and shaking and doing what I do for the physical, but I don't prep my internal world the same way. If it's massive, I'm thinking, okay, be solid, let's go. But I'm not actually visualizing before, journaling before, prepping in all the ways. And it's so beautiful, man, not only for surf, but for life, right? It's like this quote, it's on the wall there, you can't stop the waves, but you can learn how to surf. And it's like that. It's like these waves are going to come, like you said. The waves can push you in whatever direction. You can choose how to surf, or you can get tumbled by these waves. But choosing how to surf through life, right? And so I see you show up in the waves, out in the water here in Costa Rica, but I also know you surf through waves in life. And it's cool to hear all the different modalities you brought in to make this possible and to build what you have. Maybe you could get into the Bennett Method. Like, what is the Bennett Method? And like, how did that come to be? Because when I see it, it's such a well-rounded method of exploration of these parts.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. The Bennett Method just came through to be breath-based nervous system regulation, and we can take that in any aspect, in any place. My name is Mitchell Bennett, and so the Bennett Method has come from everything that I've experienced, mentors and the experiences of life, putting myself in different environments and understanding myself in those realms. And I feel like really getting to know myself and dedicating the last few years to my own pursuit of happiness has been able to help me be here today. Through working with people in the ocean, I've been surf coaching for maybe a bit over 15, 16 years. The way that we used to teach surf in the surf schools that we used to teach in, like, full stoke. Best job I ever had, like, wake up in the morning and I'd get down there, grab my tools, surfboard, wetty, get down there, and the boys were just like, morning guys, who's keen to go surfing? And I was like, oh, this is a job I want to continue. And I was roofing at the time, I was metal roofing. And yeah, that it sort of really stuck to me. That's like, I want to work with people in the water. But the way we were teaching surfing as well, full stoke, but it was a lot of technique. And then a lot of people coming into these environments, coming from a chaotic, a stressful life, the stresses of life, the stresses of work, money, family relationships, all of those things contribute to that dysregulation in the nervous system. Everything that we experience comes in the form of vibration and frequency. And we're having this sensory experience that is then registering in the body. Does that make me feel good? Is that a good resonance? Or are we having this chemical and electrical reaction in the body that is making me feel really uncomfortable? And all of that comes out in actions, it will come out in our thoughts, it will come out in our movements. And then I would be working with people in the water, and then they were having these experiences where they were really uncomfortable and didn't know what to do. And then once they sort of get on top of what's holding them back, and that could be moving through things well and truly that have nothing to do with the ocean, but just being able to talk about it and shift that perspective and change the language around it, even into self-belief, is the biggest thing. Anchoring in the breath. Through the process of respiratory sinus and rhythma, we are, with each exhale, continuing to lower our heart rate and just continue to anchor ourselves in the body. That's where the Bennett Method was born.
Yeah, I really appreciate how rounded it is. The Bennett Method, yes, it's about surfing, but it's not about surfing at the same time, which I appreciate. And the way you work with your clients. Most surf instructors, the surf starts, maybe you pop up on the beach a couple times, but it starts in the surf. It starts out in the ocean. And with you, I know firsthand, it starts on the earth, in the body, with the journal, with the breath, and then it progresses to the ocean. And then it probably comes back to land, and then it probably goes back and forth to really connect into the person and really connect into the practice, not just surfing itself. But with surfing, there are so many cool nuggets there. And I imagine you've heard of Stephen Kotler.
Okay.
From Flow State. He's the one that kind of brought Flow State forward in the West. And so Stephen Kotler was going to die. He was going to take his own life. He was literally on the morning of taking his own life.
Wow.
And a friend invited him to surf. And he's like, well, I'll extend it one more day, I guess. I'll do this thing and go out for a surf. But he was there. He was on the edge. And his friend took him to surf. He went out. He got on a wave. And he entered flow state for the first time in his life. And in that, he realized that moment is what he wanted to study.
Yeah.
And it wasn't surfing. It was flow state. Yeah. But of course, he kept surfing and doing the things around it. But he made the Flow Genome Project, and he created a lot of massive movements around flow. He's like the king of flow now.
Sweet.
And it's so amazing to hear these stories around surf. It's somebody capturing that moment on a wave and how transformational that can be. And I wonder, from your perspective, the value of surfing in the modern day. Why do people need to surf?
Great question. It's definitely something that's becoming more accessible to the wider community as well. I mean, it feels like only a surfer knows the feeling. And as cliche as that is, it is so true. Once you get the bug, you know. And I think it's had something to do with, as part of the adventure, you're giving yourself a purpose to get up in the morning and check the waves. It's always unpredictable. So you're being able to be on this random unknown adventure each day. Maybe you're going to score, maybe you're not. And then it's you versus the ocean, it's you versus the elements. And so that's also a liberating feeling too, once you can learn how to really find that composure and move into the water with awareness. And that's not even personal awareness as well. It is the environment that we're entering. Understanding really what's going on, the dangers, the understanding rips, how weather patterns are made, which beach does what, and really getting to know different places. Once you understand that, it kind of all relates to different spots around the world and you can move around. And then, yeah, getting to know yourself in these environments is incredible. It's something that you do for yourself and no one else can do it. It's not a team sport. We can be out there and socialising and be with mates on an adventure, but when it comes down to it, that's where you come face to face with those walls of resistance, with the ocean's literally a big mirror, and those reflections come straight back to you, especially in the moments where it's you and the whitewash. Yeah. Because I feel like that's a big thing as well. Like, I wanted to be able to help people not only learn how to surf and be able to enjoy being out there, and that's what surfing gets taught. Like, it's catching the waves, standing up technique, and sort of having fun, and this illusion of dancing on water all the time under the sunset in your board shorts or bikini. And it's a beautiful thing to be able to like persevere towards actually being able to ride a wave how you'd like to. But the big part of it, and no one really gets taught, is what happens in between like the couch and getting out the back behind the waves. And this is the process that really matters. That's where all the growth is. This is where all the learning is, and this is where your biggest achievements are going to be. And coming out of that, moving through that, and just the satisfaction of holding your shit together when shit's hitting the fan, and then getting out the back, and then being able to catch one of your, favorite waves. Mm-hmm. Pretty beautiful thing. Yeah. Share that with your mates and the community. Like, you're always meeting good people and leading you in new places and spaces. I mean, look where we are.
That's how we met. We were actually in the surf.
Yeah.
Like, we met, it was just 2 months ago maybe, or just over.
Yeah.
Just paddling out to a surf break it was you and one other guy, and then Chase and I pulled up in a boat, and you're like, fuck you, get get out of here. And so we came in all easy, like, oh cool, we'll join. And it was great. Yeah, it's just the four of us out, and We had some experiences. I had some with the whitewash coming. My leash snapped and you actually went and grabbed the board.
Yeah, I nearly threw it in. I thought, he's all right, I'll give it back to him.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll let it go. You're like, I'll take the waves now. But yeah, that support that you had and how you showed up, it was so cool to meet you at the wave, to see the stoke. You're obviously a much better surfer than me. And to get even, you gave me some feedback on the waves. I saw how you surfed. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. This man like is legit. And I had no idea what you did up until that point. To then see how you showed up for me with my leash snap, just out of the kindness, like, yep, I'm going to help you out, brother. And it was awesome. That is the surf culture I love. It can be different than that in some spaces, some breaks depending on where you go, but it's really nice to experience that here and see that camaraderie and see us just, we are individuals showing up with the ocean, and we've got each other in a certain way. And that was really nice to experience. So that was our first meeting.
For sure. No, and I think that's a big part of it as well, is having the surf community. We're all in the water for the same reason, but it's so easy to kind of get caught up and can get guilty of it too, where sometimes frustration comes and you don't want to surf with heaps of people. You're sitting down the beach and there's a few hundred people in the water and it's easy to get in your mind and go, look, start projecting on someone else that's catching more waves than you. That's just going to ruin your day as well, isn't it? Why don't be grateful for them enjoying theirs and then just give back into the faith of going or trusting that there's going to be one coming for you next. So I think it's a big sort of give and receive thing that comes in surfing as well.
This is something that Chase and I have talked about a lot, which is with athleticism, it's more often you see athletes moving from fear, not love, at the highest level of many things. They're running from something. They're trying to prove something. And Chase will speak to this. He's talked about it on the podcast before. Often when he's catching the most waves, he's being aggressive. He's like, I'm going to get out there. I'm going to make it. I also want to be respected so people don't drop in on me. Like there's a level of intensity that I feel like is sometimes valuable in the surf. But from your perspective, I'm curious on becoming a surfer at a level you're at, right? You're at a really high level of surfing.
I don't know about that.
Dude, I've seen the videos and I've seen you on the waves. And I know for this area, you're one of the top dogs, and it's really cool to experience that. And how I see you move in the surf, seemingly you're moving from love, respect. Seems like there's grace involved there because this is the work you do. So it makes sense I would notice that. I imagine there's times, like you said, where fear comes in and aggression and all these things. But how do you progress in a sport? We can just call it surfing. How do you progress in this while staying rooted in love versus letting fear take charge to try to be the best and earn respect? How do you stay rooted in love?
That's a very good question. Yeah, I think we're all trying to persevere towards that in our personal lives. Don't get me wrong, I'm competitive. I love my sports. I love my sports, and sometimes it's me against you. I grew up playing soccer, and it's like the aim of the game is to kick the ball in the goal. Person who scores the most goals wins. But before you get anywhere close to that goal, I'm going to get that ball off you. And so it's like, give me the ball. I'm going to get the ball off you. So like, I feel like I've taken a little bit of my love for other sports and being able to move it into my relationship in the water, where it's like, well, the waves are wanting to smoke us today, or the waves are trying to kick our ass. Am I going to let the wave or the ocean today defeat me? Am I going to be defeated by the ocean, or where does that internal discipline come from? Where does the determination, the dedication, when I know I've experienced before where I've been paddling for 20 minutes, could have been more, could have been less, and just wave after wave after wave after wave, and so frustrated where everything's coming to the surface, all the limiting beliefs just going, you're not good enough, you're not going to do this, you can't do this. There's been moments, where I've come in and just gone like, today's not the day. But there's been moments where I go like, well, I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. And that comes back down to conservation. It comes back to the breath. It comes back to everything that I guess I've practiced to be able to put myself in that environment to go, I'm not giving up on myself today. If I've got to be here for the next hour until I get a break in the waves, I'm not giving up. But let's just be real. This is in my comfort zones. There's still so many environments in the ocean where I haven't progressed to yet. And I look forward to being able to, continue to grow mentally, emotionally, physically, to be able to continue to elevate my progression in the surf. There's still been many moments where I'm out of my league, and that's okay. For that day specifically, it was about how did I feel in my body, being in the water, how was the energy in the water for the day, how did I feel? Even if I don't catch a wave, the intention for the day is to go, I just want to feel what it's like. When things get too crazy, I'm going to come out of that before it gets dangerous. Fear is safe, panic is dangerous. So, yeah, I mean, changing the perspective for the day can help a lot to go, well, maybe today I'm not getting out the bath, but I'm going to do my best to give it a go.
Yeah. And to me, that's closer to love than moving from fear. It's like, I need to do it. I need to prove that I can get out there. What is your metric of success in each session? I guess it shifts, right? And the idea of we need to develop from fear, like we need to use fear as like the mechanism of developing and growing, I just think is outdated. We can develop, we can push, we can bring intensity with love. Yeah. It's like, oh, I love and respect myself, and I know my body's capable of, so I'm going to get it. I'm going to get after it, and I'm going to be competitive. I get competitive as hell to people, and then after I'm going to love them up. I'm not going to yell at them. It's like, cool, love you, dog. You know, like it's really cool to look at the world, the waves, life through that lens, which I've experienced with you and the way you talk about surfing as well. You're coming back to the body, which is coming back to the present, which is coming back to truth, which is coming back to love, right? That is the essence of truth. And so moving from that place versus the mind that creates ideas of what you need to do or be or how to be successful in a session.
Yeah. And I think that delving further into freediving and doing my freediving training and really getting to know myself underwater, but at depth, you can't fight fire with fire there. And that's the thing, even what you experienced the other day in your static breath hold, just laying down, it's complete surrender. And the only way you're going to be able to continue is, what are you choosing? Are you choosing the highest vibration that we can experience as humans? Are you choosing love, or are you going the other way? Because when we stay in love, we can continue to stay in a space of evolution to figure out, where do I take my next step from here? And that just comes further and further down to surrender. We can stay in composure. When we're in that parasympathetic state, we're getting access to the prefrontal cortex as well. So we're literally getting to choose how we want to behave here. And when that continues to come back to love, it can just continue to take you further and further, deeper into your body, deeper into yourself, especially in those environments where fire's not going to work. But as masculine men and women, we've been taught to fight fire with fire, that we're gladiators, that we're warriors in one form or another. I mean, look at the friggin' wars around the world right now. Are you going to continue that internal war, or start to soften into the suppleness and gentleness of the intelligence of your body and keep moving through whatever experience you're with in that state?
Well, that's real power, right? Like the false power is the one from fear, is the reactive power.
There we go.
Like the real warrior, the real power is the one that can trust.
Yeah.
Like softness doesn't mean weakness.
Yeah.
That surrendered energy and knowing that in its truest form is powerful.
Yeah.
When you can be with the ocean, when you can shred on a wave and then you get tumbled and you're not like clawing, you're allowing, and then you know when to turn it on and go.
Yeah. That's
true power.
Yeah.
To really allow yourself to listen to the world around you. But then when you need to turn it on, you turn it on and you activate it. And I see you do that well. Because every time I spend time with you, I'm like, your nervous system is so calm, man. And then I've seen you in the surf, just boom, dialed in. You're like, when I need to, I got it. When I don't need to, I'm right.
Thank you. I'm doing my best daily, and it's a daily practice to really sit with your own shit and do whatever makes you happy. And I feel like I'm far from perfect, and I definitely have my days, but I'm proud of myself for continuing to persevere and day in, day out, and get back into the body.
That right there, that you mentioned a couple times now, that celebration of self, that's huge. And I don't think a lot of men do that, and a lot of people do that, but to come and celebrate yourself. I know I don't do that enough, but even when you said after the surf, you got smashed, you sat on the rock, you're like, oh, so grateful for you. Like that piece, take that away, people. Like bring that bit of celebration, that love for self that is huge. And you're doing it right now. You're embodying that, but just the acknowledgement of self. Like I'm showing up.
Yeah, and I feel like it's such a liberating thing to go, I can do it. I can do it. And no one else did that but me in that moment. I think that's such a beautiful thing. And that feeling is just so Moorish when it comes from a space of unconditional growth towards whatever you're propelling towards. To praise those little achievements day in, day out is huge.
I often talk about discipline versus devotion and the difference, the subtleties in that, and how the discipline is like the forceful creation and the devotion is the intentional action towards. And so you've mentioned it a few times, like having the morning practice the day before. We're in my house right now, so I'm wondering from you, like, tomorrow morning or tonight before I go to bed, if I'm surfing in the morning tomorrow, that's my plan. Yeah. There's a swell here. I'm going to surf in the morning.
Beauty.
What, from your perspective, is the routine of devotion to show up for that surf for tomorrow? What would I do in my space from your perspective that's a good practice? That's a good thing for me to do to start sinking into what you're talking about, things that I don't do myself. How do I start tonight? What do I do in the morning? How do I move to the surf from here?
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. I mean, it depends. Like, what are your goals? What do you want to work on? Shred the gnar.
No, I'm just shred the gnar. I'm really working on, we call it stay loose on the waves, but this excitement that happens for me, I move from excitement, if you didn't notice, but on the waves, you can notice that.
One of your finer features.
Like, it's right there all the time. And when I get on the wave, that'll happen and I'll be excited, but excitement can bring tension for me. And so it can bring this almost like rigidity to how I surf, and it's not fluid. That could be excitement, but for me, I get excited. I'm like, oh, I'm on the wave, and then I'm tight. So there's something there for me to explore to get on the wave. You see me surf a couple waves, and
yeah, you're shredding the gnar.
Yeah, all right. A little bit of gnar got shredded.
You fixed.
I did it. Yes. But how to start finding fluidity, because I understand some of the technical stuff, and like, I realize I need to turn and look and footing and the things, but it doesn't feel technical. It feels like there's something internal that could be a fluidity on the wave.
Yeah.
And so whatever that is, to go from rigidity to fluidity when on a wave.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a few different tools that you can use. To begin with, starting here in the house, what you can do this afternoon is write. Get your journal out and create a little nice space for yourself and start to write. What are your goals? Exactly what you just told me. What are you doing at the moment? Just so you can see it, and then continue to write like the wish is already fulfilled. Instead of saying, I want to surf fluidly, I want to be able to be more calm on the wave. Write it. I'm so happy and grateful now that when I'm moving towards the water, I'm anchored into my breath, I'm anchored into my body. Coming back into that sensory meditation, I can hear the sound of the waves. I can feel the water moving around my body. The sand starting to slowly shift under my feet as I get deeper into the water. How intimate can you get with the present environment that you're in? Start to write it out. As I get on my board, the hardness of the board I can feel it on my chest. My arms are starting to stroke through the water. I can feel the water rolling off my fingertips as I continue to paddle. paddling as I breathe, breathe as I paddle. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3.
And that's per paddle, right? Just for the viewers, because I know this from your workshop.
Yeah.
The practice that you recommend, right, is the inhale for 3 strokes.
3 strokes.
And then exhale 3 strokes.
Yeah, there we go.
Gotcha.
Meet yourself where you are, but if you can extend it or shorten it. But just really continue the whole practice, write out your whole surf. How does it feel to be underwater? What can you hear underwater? What can you see? The sound of the bubbles going past your ears. When you get out the back, how does it feel? How do you feel in your body? What's happening in your mind? I'm so happy and grateful that my mind is at ease. I feel gentle with my thoughts, kind with my breath. As a wave pops up on the horizon, when does a sniper take his shot?
On the exhale.
The bottom of the exhale. A wave pops up, things start to get fast. Big exhale. And then continue to ride out the process of you turning, catching the wave. When the wave comes, I turn, I'm in correct position, core's engaged, I'm paddling, streamline. As the wave comes, my mind, my body, every cell in my body is I'm going. And then when you start to go, inhale, I'm going. And then once you actually get up on your feet, exhale, slow it all down again. And continue to write out how exactly you want to surf this wave. Envision it, drill it in, just embody in every single granular particle of your physical body how you want to be moving in the ocean. How your body movements are, how your stance, your positioning. So happy and grateful now when I make my turn, I crouch, compress, open my arms, I move my head slowly, surely as I look back to the whitewash, connect with the wave and then make my turn back down facing the wave. However you want to make whatever part of the wave, the section, your surf look like, go through it. Watch videos, some of my favorite surfers, Mikey February. What a beautiful man. Wow, just continue to watch like technique like that. Do your research, keep watching, keep mimicking other people. And then when you're out in the water, just fine tuning, find someone who you really enjoy. It doesn't have to be them as a whole surfer, maybe it is, maybe it's just the way they do a roundhouse or a cutback or the way they paddle or take off. Start to mimic them until you embody it. Just little things to continue those little processes. Come back, reflect on that. Maybe if you want video analysis, we can do video analysis and continue the process of going like, okay, this is what you're doing and this is where we want to get you to.
I got the visualization day before. I'm going to do that this afternoon. I'll go to bed, rethink about it, probably just run it through, mind movie it, and visualize it, become a better surfer, not on waves. I feel like a better surfer just hearing you talk about it. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to do it. Like butter.
Yeah.
And you created a mind movie for me already.
I love it.
When I'm on the beach, right, I do my stretches, I get ready, I'm very physical, warming up. What do you do when you're on the beach, right before you paddle out?
Connecting back into that sensory experience. That is huge.
Yeah. All the senses.
All the senses, get them all going. Sensory party, light it up.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, nice stretch, moving the body, anchoring into the breath. Maybe if I'm feeling a little bit sluggish, some fire breathing. Getting going and then anchoring back into the slow drawn out breaths again and just anchoring into that specific day. Doing my best, especially when I'm in conditions and environments that deserve and require all of my attention and awareness. Yeah, I'm fully on. Yeah. And I know that a big part of it too is that respect to the ocean. Sitting there for a moment in respect to go like, good morning. Whatever conversation you would like to have with the ocean or just a couple of moments of gratitude for even the day to be able to open up the time and space in your life to be surfing for the day. What a beautiful gift.
That presence is a big thing for sure. I could tune more into that because it's usually before the work day. Okay, I got an hour to paddle out, to rip. Let's go, let's get out.
Yeah.
But just for a minute or two or a few, because that matters more than anything.
Yeah.
It's like the monks say, I have a very busy day, or there's lots to do in the world, so I need to meditate for an extra hour. I need to spend the extra time, even when I feel busy, especially when I feel busy.
Yeah.
One other thing I wanted to go into before we close is when the whitewash comes, when the sets roll in. And of course, this is in the surf, but this is also in life. When the stressors come in, oh, I feel overwhelmed. For me, it's huge sets and like, oh God, I'm gonna have to duck under. I know you have a breath practice for this, so maybe we just run through that of how to calm the nervous system when fight or flight wants to go on. I'm tense, sets coming, literally in the waves or experientially in life. What breath do I return to? How do I sink into my body in those few seconds, in those moments that we have?
Depending on where you're at, depending on how much composure you've done. Are you up high and nearly in panic, nearly in stress? Just slowly bring those exhales down, 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 down. Are you talking about like right before?
It's about to happen. I can see it in the distance. And then we'll go into, obviously, after pop up, another set coming.
Extend that exhale, especially to begin with. Yep. Instead of moving around crazy, wildly, yelling to friends, holy shit, what's going on? Every moment that we're talking, every moment that we're scrambling is a moment that we're not breathing. Come back, big exhales, gentle inhales, take that final breath. Go under, protect if you need to ditch the board, if you're with the board, and count. Count when you're underwater, or sing yourself a nice little song, whatever it may be. Try and come out of the tenseness if you can, flow with the whitewash, and then as we're coming out of the water, like any breath hold, we want to get that stagnant oxygen out. So that looks like dump breath. So let's do it together. Hold for a little second. Big inhale. Hold. Little squeeze in the chest. Exhale. 2 more. Next wave's coming. And then you're underwater again. Come out. Could be maybe 10 seconds. We're out. And then what's happening, depending if you get a break in the surf, if you got more on the head, come back into the breath as soon as possible.
Yeah. What's that breath called again?
The hook breath.
Yeah, the hook breath. I'm going to take that one into my surf for sure, because I usually am probably flailing or trying to get my board. I'm not thinking of breath in that moment, which is absurd, because it seems like that's the thing I should be most thinking about.
Yeah.
Oh, the breath right now. Yeah. Every other thing is secondary, or I need to be with the breath.
Yeah, completely.
So that hook breath is powerful.
Essential. Especially after a long breath hold. When we take that first inhale, sometimes it takes a little bit for blood to actually get to our brain. So when we dump, it's like instantly we're coming out and then in. And that little bit of that pressure, we're trying to get it in as quick as possible. Instead of like in freediving, when you're doing an extended breath hold and you're coming out, it's like, whoa, slow. Too much time.
Yeah.
You go to blackout. This is something, especially kids, when we are doing these extended breath holds, always have a buddy at any point in time. When you want to go into breath holding training, if you want to do extensive breath holds in the pool, make sure that you're with a buddy, or in the ocean. When you're going freediving, know what each other's intentions are for the day, know where you're at, know what you want to be doing, and then make sure they're keeping an eye on you. You can do these breath holding trainings on land, laying down, at home, in the comfort of your own home, on the couch, whatever it may be. But rule number 1, always train with a buddy.
And I'm excited for your practice. Mitch is going to bring us through a little guided practice as well that we can use out in the surf or day-to-day life, which will be after the episode. So look out for that one. To honor the time, because there's so much we can go into, we're probably going to do another episode at some point. There's lots. The last thing that I ask every guest when they come on is, what does it mean for you to be whole?
I think that's an important question because for so long I've felt like I wasn't, and there's still moments where I don't feel like I'm whole. So to approach the day wholeheartedly, just really doing what feels good, doing what feels good to you, what feels good to me, eating good food, drinking good water, kind with my breath, gentle with my thoughts. Connection with community, I think, is a huge one, with friends, family, giving back to the local community. All of the things that continue to create that village mentality, I feel, is so important to go, we're all in this together. I feel more whole when I'm with other people. Yes. And not from a place of I need to feel that for me, but from a place of we can lean on each other in the best ways. The conversation that we had before this is connection. We can relate to each other and feel like each other's cup up and be able to send each other off into the rest of the day with a new perspective and new understanding, I think, is important to then be able to take it back to your morning practice again or daily practice together. Right, I learned some shit today and I'm going to put it into play.
I'm definitely going to put it into play today myself. It starts this afternoon for me.
Beauty.
So thank you, brother.
I like
Appreciate you. We're going to share more about Mitch in the description below, how to find out about him, how to get connected. Obviously, if you're in Nosara or coming, connect with this man. Get some sessions in with him. I'm going to myself. Appreciate you, brother.